call this meeting of the Madison Elementary School District Governing Board to order. Ms. Humphries, please call the roll.
President Gresham.
Here.
Vice President Thompson.
Present.
Member Holcomb.
Here.
Member Hunt.
Here.
Member Kazi.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you. Is there are changes to the agenda, or can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Ms. Cosley, seconded by Ms. Thompson. And we have adopted the agenda. Oh, let's see. Mr. Hunt, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we will start with our superintendent's report.
President Gresham, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, congratulations once again to the Madison Elementary School District. In December, they were selected as the ASBA Lou Ella Klein's Excellence Award for the Arizona School Board Association, and this is the top school board award in the state. And you can see their amazing recognition or trophy up there. This prestigious award is the highest honor and so incredibly well deserved. So congratulations. It was wonderful to see you celebrated in December, and we just received the video from ASBA, so we will certainly put it out to the community so that they can see you receive your award. I want to also congratulate Mitra Kazi, Board Member Kazi, who was selected for the President-elect position for the Arizona School Board Association by her fellow board members throughout the entire state of Arizona. She will serve as President-elect this year and President next year. And I am confident with Mitra at the helm of the School Board Association, we can look forward to enhanced collaboration, transparency, strong support, and continued professionalism. Her leadership promises to foster a united approach toward achieving the best outcomes for students. And I really want to thank you, President Gresham, for your absolute dedication. You did an amazing job serving as president this school year. Your leadership has made a lasting impact. Your focus on students, your unwavering focus on what's best for students in the community, your knowledge of our signature programs and our history. It's been truly an honor to serve with you, and I will miss meeting with you, even though we still get to meet. It would just be in a different capacity. I want to thank the Honorable Judge Sam Tuma for guiding our newly elected and re-elected board members through their oath of office. We really appreciate his support. I'll certainly write him a thank you note in support of the Madison School District. And when you hear the oath of office, you really understand the seriousness of it and how our community is counting on us. And so it was wonderful to have him here to help us guide us through that. And then finally, join me in welcoming Brett Hunt to his first official meeting as a member of the Madison Governing Board. Brett, you've already done so much for our community as a parent and stakeholder in 2 of our schools, and I know you will be a truly impactful board member. Welcome, and I really enjoyed attending the conference with you on Board Member 101 at ASBA, so welcome, and meeting your family tonight. There are still a few tickets left to the Fleetwood Mac band, Gypsy Dreams. I'm going Friday night. The whole front of the house is sold out. There's a few seats in the back of the house, so please get your tickets now. It's going to be amazing. And I absolutely need to, again, mention open enrollment is happening now. Go to the website so you can get priority status. All the information is on the website, and you can certainly call us if you have any questions. I want to welcome everyone back, and I look forward to a spectacular 2025 school year.
Thank you. Let's see. Start with Mr. Holcomb.
Thank you. I hope everyone is, so far as having a happy new year. I'm also looking forward to a great year this year. I want to express my appreciation for everybody at the ASBA conference. It was good to get together. The award that the board got is very well deserved, and I think it was particularly special because it was done while Sarah was still on the board and recognized her service for a long time. President Gresham, I think I want to congratulate you. I thought you did an excellent job as president, and Ms. Thompson as vice president, and Mitra, I'm so glad that you are going to be so involved in the ASBA. They need someone like you to really take it, and I'm glad that you're going to be president afterwards. And Brett, welcome to the circus. But I'm hoping everybody will go to the Fleetwood Mac concert on Friday. I'm planning to go there with my family. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, a large part through the efforts of Ms. Ghazi, the Phoenix Sings at the Madison. First, that I think is really focused on elementary choral festival is coming together for February 13th. And my own barbershop chorus is going to be participating in that. And that's going to be a great thing to really celebrate and enhance music for kids from, I think, we're at least 5 different districts, if not, there's 9 schools?
8 schools, 5 districts.
5 districts, 8 schools. And we actually, if you saw, there was another one that just contacted us. So that's going to be a great event. I'm really looking forward to participating in that. Really, that's all I have. I'm looking forward to serving another 4 years on this wonderful board.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Kelsey?
Wow, you're really for the last meeting, you're really keeping us on our
I'm
toes.
jumping around.
I love that.
Mix it up this time.
I wanted to say thank you to President Gresham. You were an outstanding president. You brought, we have always had a fair amount of decorum on this board, but you did a great job, and it was a pleasure serving under you for sure. And then also to Vice President Thompson, thank you for your service, and good luck in the coming year. I know you will do a wonderful job. Mr. Holcomb, congratulations on your 6th term on the Madison board. I don't know if we've had, is there anybody in our history who has served that long?
I doubt it.
I would doubt it. It's quite an accomplishment. And then also to Board Member Hunt, welcome, and we're thrilled to have you aboard. I wanted to give a shout out to Jason Piankowski, along with Lindsay Murray and Hannah Melanie, for their work on the presentation that Mr. Holcomb and I were lucky enough to tag along on at the ASBA annual conference, Charting Madison's Course, Building for Impact. It was an impressive presentation on the work that we're doing here to ensure that all of our schools are constantly working towards improvement using the best data available. I think it demonstrates just who we are, the culture that we have here. And although I wish we'd had more people in the audience, I believe that there are new audiences for that presentation at even a higher level, because I think that what we do here should be shared. And in that vein, I think Madison has always done an excellent job, but we're always so busy doing a good job that we don't really apply for awards often. And I think that's changed. And I think this ASBA conference, we were able to really demonstrate and showcase to the state the great work we're doing in Madison, and that when we do share, it is acknowledged, and we receive some pretty incredible awards. So thank you for the work on that. That doesn't happen without the effort that has to be put into applying for those awards. So thank you, Dr. Guerin, and everyone else who worked on that. And then welcome back, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Causey. Who's it going to be? Okay. Well, usually you save, Vice President for last, so I'll have Mr. Do you have any announcements?
All right, thank you, President Gresham, fellow members of the board, Dr. Guerin, members of the cabinet, and the audience. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome to the board. I'm really excited for the next 4 years. How it is we might contribute to the great work that already has happened here in Madison. My family really feels a debt of gratitude to this district because we send our 3 most valuable assets into your care for the last 12 years, 5 days a week. And so to the teachers, to the paraprofessionals, the bus drivers, the crossing guards, the folks working hard in the cafeteria, I just want to say thank you. And hopefully, we can give back. I really see this as our time to do service to an organization in Madison Elementary School District that has done great service to my family. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I want to thank you for your service as president. It's been wonderful to serve as your vice president this year, and really appreciate you helping to guide me, even though it's hard to believe I'm halfway through my first term on the board. 2 years goes by quickly, and want to thank you for your guidance and friendship. I want to congratulate Mr. Holcomb. Sixth term is very impressive. Thank you for your service. I know for you it's a calling and not just a real call to service for the community, and I appreciate it. Welcome to the board, Mr. Hunt. Looking forward to working with you in the coming year and the coming years. Want to welcome all the teachers, students, and families back to school. I hope everybody had a restful break. Congratulations again to Ms. Kazi on your election to the ASBA. The institution is in good hands with you in a leadership position there, and looking forward to you helping that organization grow and evolve as well. I also want to thank our research and evaluation team and all of those who participated in that presentation on our continual improvement process. It's not just wonderful that we're recognized, but to also see how other districts can learn from what we're doing, and it really puts into perspective all the great things that we're doing here at Madison. Also want to give a shout out to all of the student athletes who are neck deep in winter sports right now, including my kiddo who's playing a basketball game, so I will keep my update short so I can maybe make it to see the end of it. That's all I have.
Thank you, Vice President. Let's see. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a restful and fun break. And thank you, Dr. Guerin, and all of you for your kind words. It's been a wonderful term, and I'm looking forward to the next term, serving with all of you. And welcome to Mr. Hunt. And we will leave Luella up here in the boardroom, and anyone can come and say hi to her. And it does have our names on the back, though, so it's a traveling award. So we will have it here for a year, and then it will move on. But yes, thank you, and it's nice to have that honor. Okay, I think that should do it, and I will move on. We have a new item, 2.3, and I am pleased to have this as one of my last acts as president. I will be reading a land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that we are here today on the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary homelands of the Akhmir, Otham, and Peeposh peoples. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous sovereignty, history, and experiences. So, thank you for that. Okay, and we'll move on to item 3.1. Do we have any changes to or a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Thompson. Please vote. And that has passed unanimously. Moving on to 4.1, Ms. Ms. Humphries.
We have
Do
no
we have
calls to
any
public
calls?
today.
Surprise, surprise. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll move on to 5.1. Dr. Guerin, would you like to introduce Native American Education Program?
Yes, President Gresham, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'm pleased to turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Barb Marshall for this item.
Thank you, President Gresham, members of the board, members of cabinet. Thank you for the land acknowledgement in honor of our Native American students and families. And we're excited tonight to share with you an overview of the programs that we have in place to also support our Native American students. So tonight, our Director for Curriculum and Instruction, Laura Webb, along with our Native American technician, Martha Sullivan, will provide that overview, and I'll turn it over to them. She doesn't want to talk, so I'm talking. There it is. Okay. Edmundo, is this going to work if I advance here? Okay, just making sure. Thanks. Good evening, President Gresham, members of the board, Dr. Guerin, members of cabinet. I am pleased tonight to highlight our Native American programming for Madison School District. So there we go. We have a mission statement that is posted on our website that we say that the Native American program of Madison School District collaborates with parents, schools, and community organizations to empower Native students culturally, socially, and academically. And so we strive to do that in 5 different areas. Really, what we are looking to do is to create intentions. And our intention in serving our Native American population is to create connections through collaboration with parents, with families, with community members, and and state organizations, tribal organizations, for the benefit of our students and their families. It's also our intention to create programs that help boost our Native American cultural identity, to be proud of their heritage, to understand it, and also to create that liaison between the school and the families. We're also looking to develop the leadership and communication skills, our social skills of our Native American students, and to strengthen the partnerships between schools and families, our Native American families. Sometimes those are not great, and there's a lot of miscommunication that can happen. And so part of that is developing those social skills with students and also with families. We also have academics. We serve our students by providing some academic support, either with creating partnerships with teachers. Martha, there she is, Martha Sullivan, our Native American liaison, does a really nice job of reaching out to teachers and talking with them on how to reach students. We have provided tutoring. Currently, we have no students in tutoring, but because we have a state program that is also providing free tutoring, and we're utilizing those resources at this particular time. But we have provided tutoring to students who are in need. We also are providing social emotional support for families. The social emotional support also sometimes bleeds into financial and assistance with everyday things in the scope of creating resources or giving them the ability to be able to find resources in the community. For example, Martha has been fielding a lot of phone calls recently over rental assistance. While we're not giving them money, we are working in conjunction with other community liaisons and with Phoenix Indian community to help identify different resources in the community so that they can be helped. She gets a lot of phone calls for those types of assistance with food, with rent, with transportation sometimes as well. So we have two funding sources for our program. One is through our Title VI grant, and that is a federal grant. The federal funds in this district, they are basically dependent on the number of students that qualify, that are qualified students for services. And with that grant, that currently is taking the bulk of Martha, our liaison's salary. And so we use it for that. And then Johnson O'Malley grant is a state grant that is used to provide support for students and families. So we work in partnership with the parents of our students. And what we have is a Native American Parent Committee, and that parent committee works collaboratively with us, and specifically with Martha, to identify the needs of their students and the community, and then we allocate money from those JOM, it's called JOM, Johnson O'Malley, the JOM funds, to be able to provide the resources that the parents have identified as something that they want. And they want a lot of things, right? They want lots of things in lots of different buckets, and we have limited amounts of money. So then it becomes a conversation on the priorities and how much we're going to spend on certain things and what's fair. So to give you an example of that, we may have students, currently we provide assistance to our 8th grade students for promotion fees and activity fees as well for all students. We also have sports and athletic fees that we cover for students who are qualified for this program and request assistance with that. And some parents would like any assistance for any of those programs to completely go to certain groups of kids. So we don't have kindergartners who need promotion fees, right? So what do we provide the kindergartners or the 1st or 2nd graders as opposed to the 8th graders? So it's those kinds of negotiations with the parent committee to decide how we will use funds that sometimes have to occur. So the grant amounts in each of these funds is completely dependent on the enrollment that we have from year to year. And so the amount fluctuates on what we can spend. I think I did. Okay, qualifying students. So let me talk for just a minute about qualifying students. For the Johnson O'Malley grant, the students must show documentation of tribal affiliation per state law. And so Martha works very closely with families. We have a lot of families who identify as Native American. They when asked to select ethnicity on PowerSchool, they will choose Native American, but they may not have credentials. They may not have any paperwork that identifies them as part of a specific tribe. Yet we have people who want to access the resources that we may be able to provide for their students. And so Martha spends a fair amount of time in communication with different tribes and helping families figure out how can we how can we work through those systems at each individual tribe and determine if your student is qualified, will become qualified. The state has relaxed a little bit of the regulations that have been in place for a very long time. And so what she's been doing is the rules now are either you have tribal affiliation and you have paperwork saying that you are a member of a tribe and then you can qualify. Or at this point in time, if you can show that a parent or a grandparent is member of a tribe, then we can work backwards to find lineage. But that, if we have that, then it becomes looking for birth certificates and making sure all the ducks are in a row in order to qualify for these services. So she spends a lot of time doing that and working on behalf of our families to try and qualify students. So our numbers in Madison, we've had, over the last 18 months, we have gone from 445 to 419 students who identify as Native American, but our number of qualified students have actually risen. And so the number of qualified students have risen from 140 to 184, and that is in no small part due to Martha and her research and her working with families to get the resources for them. So I mentioned the Native American Parent Committee. That is the committee that we work with and collaborate with for our Johnson O'Malley funds. Every single year, parents are invited to serve on on this parent committee. It has been difficult, especially after COVID. We've had ups and downs in this program over the last 15 years. We've had very robust years that things have gone very, very well, and we've had lots of involvement from parents and students. And then we've had years where it's virtually non-existent. And when that happens and we have a dip in the number of students that qualify, obviously our funds go down, and that impacts what we can provide. So working to try and increase the number of kids we have in enrollment will end up helping us in the long run, right, and helping more and more kids. The parent committee has the responsibility of running their committee meetings, of having agendas and creating what they would like to see happen. They are their own entity. We are a part of that, and we attend, and we certainly serve as a support mechanism for the parent committee in the form of making sure communication goes out to all of our families, using our systems of communication, using our systems of being a liaison between the families, the school district, and the community. We have partnerships with different community organizations that we put in connection with our parent committees. We also are responsible for trying to engage and creating the community programs that are important for our families. And so that collaboration is very, very important, but it is a little tenuous this year, to be honest, because we have the parents have not been as active as we would like, and so we're trying to move and encourage and get this moving again in a positive direction. But we continue to hold parent committee meetings monthly. We are working, Martha works really well with the few parents that we have that are regular, and we host them at different sites each month so that we get a variety of parents, they feel comfortable at their own individual sites. And we have moved to creating activities, so parents come along with their children. We provide activities for children, and also we've started to implement activities for the adults as well, and I'll get to that in just a second. But the committee meetings are held, and we have good discussions. They're becoming more and more attended. Do you remember how many were at the last one? 16 parents. There's been years there's 2. 3, it just depends. But lots of kids. When we have the programming, we seem to get more families come. The families are very committed to their heritage. The parents really, in my conversations with them, the parents really, really want their students to have access to Native American programs and cultural types of activities, and they really are encouraging that to happen. So it's difficult. They have a want to do that, right? But the attendance still is just a little difficult to get a steady group of people. So the student supports, I did want to highlight the student supports that Martha is providing. The social emotional support, she works with school social workers and counselors very, very frequently, and mainly I would say in the middle schools more than the elementary schools. But there's been multiple occasions where parents will call Martha and ask, my child is having a difficult time. I know that, she needs to go and see the social worker or the counselor, but she doesn't want to go. Will you go talk to her? Will you work with the social worker? Will you sit in there? Will you talk? And she creates this liaison, this partnership with the staff at the schools to be able to say, yeah, I'm going to talk with the student. I'm going to get them to you, and then you do your thing, right? She hands off, but she's created a trust with many of those students. We have students who participate in athletics, and she attends their athletic events. She brings them treats and supports them, and they are very, very appreciative of her. So that social emotional support is really, and creating that connection is really important for them and for her, I think, right? Yeah. And the tribal affiliation support. We are doing a lot of work within the tribe, with the tribes, and also with Phoenix Indian Center. Phoenix Indian Center has a plethora of resources available to them, and they have been a really, really, really nice partner for us in the last 2 years. So I'm going to highlight some of the things that have happened over the last, I would say, 18 months. We've had back to school drive. This year, we started the year with a back to school drive, which was an open house that Martha coordinated for families. They were able to receive backpacks with school supplies. It was right here in the boardroom. They had free athletic physicals if they wanted them. Immunizations were available, free immunizations were available, and connections with multiple agencies in the community for support. That happened in August. As I mentioned, we do activity fees and sports fees by request. If a family is in need of support with that, we will provide that if they are a qualified student. In addition, we have club fees that are covered. So if we have let's say a first grader who wants to do an after-school club that's held at their school and they can't afford to do that, they can come to us and we can provide for that particular club. And again, we've limited the number of those for students at certain times just so that we are being equitable across all of our students. And then we also will assist and, like I said, give resources or help families find resources for their other needs. The culture classes we did on site last year, and we changed that to be at the Native American Parent Committee meetings. So this year we've done a few different types of culture classes. One was gourd making, and one was drum making. The last one they did was beading, and like I said, very high engagement with the families who attend, and they walk out with this really nice product that they can use and that they can talk about, and we've designed it to be at this parent committee meeting so that students and kids have an opportunity to do it, but their parents are doing it alongside with them, and we thought that that was important. And the last one that is a partnership with Phoenix Indian Center is the Living in Two Worlds. So this program is for middle school students rather, and it teaches about the culture and the traditions of Native Americans. It provides lessons and fun activities that are engaging for our middle school students on lifestyle choices. There's a strong emphasis on being healthy lifestyle, both mental health and physical health. They talk about ways to avoid pitfalls with our health, with our physical health and our mental health, and we've held them at Park and at Number One in the past. So Park, we did one session at Park over 12 weeks in the fall, and for Number One this year we've switched it up and we worked with Number One. So they have a guided study period first thing in the morning, and so we have created this Living in Two Worlds program for them first thing in the morning once a week for students whose parents say that they can do that. They will attend at 8, they'll start at 8 o'clock. Class starts at 8:30, but their first class for 30 minutes is guided study, so they will miss that guided study period for 30 minutes on one day a week, and they will attend this Living in Two Worlds for Native American culture classes, and then they'll go on for the rest of their day. And we have, I think you said 6 or 7 signed up right now for that. We thought that if it was ingrained in the middle of the day, it wasn't after school or at night or something like that, that we would have an increase in enrollment, and that's what we were looking for. So these are the programs that we have been running. So questions or comments for me?
Thank you so much, Ms. Webb. Questions, comments, Ms. Kazi?
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. I have a few questions and a few comments. So in regards to the culture component of the program, you reference cultural backgrounds by meeting in moccasins groups. Can you elaborate on what a moccasin group is? It's not a term I'm familiar with. Excuse me.
Do you want to talk about that? You haven't done it yet? Okay, they haven't done them yet. We have different programs. We did Rock Your Mocks, right? Rock Your Mocks, and we've had different ones like that, but we haven't done the moccasin, so I apologize. I did have that in there.
I was curious if we work with Native American Connections. I've worked with them a little bit. They have a assisted living community adjacent actually to Madison Meadows, right on Maryland. They're right down Central. They're in our community. And they have a pretty robust program. I know that that particular facility is mostly for seniors and people with disabilities, but I know that that affordable housing is a big component of who they are. But it sounds like you do work with them because they are a pretty well-run organization. I have a comment and a question. So I'm curious, given these numbers as far as the number of students that identify as Native Americans and a student population of 6,000 students, and we have almost 500 that are identifying, that's, before the reduction, so it's 419 now, that's pretty significant, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm curious if we've ever thought about doing anything, because we do, in fourth grade, social studies, we have our Arizona component. We do anything to kind of help the rest of our student population better understand the Native American culture. And I think back to an example. I remember when I think my youngest son was at Simus, and one of his best friends had gone to a birthday party, and it was a sleepover, and her parents, she was Navajo, and she wore an owl pajamas, which she learned when her pajamas went out the door that was probably not the thing to wear to a birthday party overnight, because owls were not something that they wanted in their house. Mm-hmm. But that family, we had not done a very poor job of providing any type of cultural competency for the rest of our population. Mm-hmm. And I just wonder if that's something that, we've thought about doing. So that's one. Okay. I'm curious about what are some of the barriers to parental involvement? Have we identified them? I know that funding is always going to be a challenge for every program we operate, but I'm sure resources are tight and always in need for this particular program. But I will tell you, in the nonprofit world right now, there's a growing awareness that if you want to bring in board members or people on a committee who have limited, that are stretched because of, jobs or resources, that there are, we provide allowances for transportation or fill in the blank to help them participate. That's becoming much more common, and I just wonder if we've, kind of identified what those barriers are, and because we know they exist, mm-hmm. And then what our plans are to increase engagement and support those families so that they can participate. Obviously, if having activities for the kids, I'm sure, is huge. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we provide a meal. That tends to be also very huge for families. And then finally, I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, so couple of comments. So you do work with the agency that you were speaking of. I would agree that having a larger understanding of our students having a larger understanding of Native American culture would be a positive direction to go. I know that from serving as a principal, sometimes our teachers don't have that as well. And that has been a learning curve over, especially with assemblies and field trips and holidays and different kinds of traditions that happen with different populations in your school. And that has not been at the forefront of our programming. It has been mainly focused on on the Native American students and not the other students. It also could be something in partnership with some of these other programs that we're doing that we can explore. Maybe some of our Native American students who are going to the culture classes could bring a friend, or could do, you know what I mean, so working in partnership with some of them. That would be something that I think that we could explore and we could take a look at. But I don't disagree that I think that the more knowledge you have, the better you are at making connections and understanding each other. So you want to talk about that?
We'd love,
We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
We really would.
Yeah, we really do want to hear from you.
Yeah,
Please.
You can do it. You can do it. You're good.
Hello, my name is Martha Sullivan. The Department of Education, they're offering a STEM program for teachers. They're asking teachers if there's any teachers in our district that would be interested in participating in the STEM program, so they can bring the Native American program into the school so they can share it with the rest of the students. So that was one thing that I was asking Laura, if we can get it out to the teachers and to the principals, see if we can have any volunteers. And I believe that program starts in March, that they're going to start doing that. So sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, and in terms of having the number of parents participate in these programs, we provide potlucks. We do potlucks by their request, and that's popular. We're limited with funds on what we can spend certain things on. We got in a little bit of trouble last year at the end of the year because we spent too much money on food, and the state didn't like that a whole lot. But they are also open and willing to work with us on our state liaison person with JOM on what we can, the amount of money we need, and is encouraging us to continually ask and to try and get more and more and more and more. So we're working on creating he's fairly new, so we're working on having a better partnership with them too to access more resources.
And I would just suggest, again, this would be not necessarily your wheelhouse, but with our grant writer, since we're already partnering with the Phoenix Indian Center, there is money for education through Pulliam, Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust. It'd be better to come from the school district, because I think they want to avoid direct grants to school districts because it would open the floodgate, basically. But I think a collaborative grant in developing some kind of, exemplar program that could then have applications across the state would be potentially a source of funding for a specific, program or activity that you'd like to seed or develop further. Just some food for thought.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, Ms. Cosby. Okay, we got two more. Who's first? Mr. Holcomb.
First, I want to congratulate you on this. I remember a number of years ago, we were approached to try to create a Native American preschool approach and work with organizations, and saw how difficult it is, and the amount of effort that you put into this. And I think understanding what you're working, the issues you were dealing with, I think it's been very successful. One of the things I want to put out right front, I think you can get from the questions and their interest, whatever the board can do, whatever we can do to try to support you in this effort, I think is important. Because one of the things to recognize, most people don't understand that about Madison, is we have a large Native American population, particularly compared for our size, and it's important. I had a number of questions. You answered many of them. One of the things that we've also talked about, and this is something, Ms. Kazi, you can possibly help with, is talked about the idea of having sister schools, with the districts, in other words, and that idea of going across cultures and that too, and actually helping sort of spread what Madison has to other districts, is if we could see if there are other districts on res or other one that have a large Native American population that our schools could partner with. I love the idea of looking for more partnerships, as much as we can do to try to help with that. But I think this is hugely important, and I was very impressed by what you've been able to do, and whatever we can do to help that. I really like us to be able to do that.
Thank you. Just as a side note,
Yeah.
Martha is not a full-time employee either.
Well,
Okay.
Can you clarify how much we have her?
30 hours a week
Wow.
for 9 months
Okay.
right now.
Yeah, well, I think it deserves more, because I think it not only helps the Native American students and their families, but the broader community, and some more we can bring that to the forefront. In fact, I was thinking about this as I'm listening to this. This would be a perfect thing to try to look to, like my Kiwanis Club, and that the cultural groups love to be. I'd love to have you come and talk to us about some of the issues in that too. The more we have the awareness and get some support. I think this would also be something that would be good to have a presentation at our interfaith breakfast. Come in, because I think that was something that our faith organizations would help to support. So thank you again very much.
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Holcomb. Vice President Thompson.
Just briefly, and I think even more poignantly now that I realize that Martha is a 30-hour-a-week, 9-month employee. I just want to give you kudos for the incredible, I recognize what yeoman's work it is to get anyone identified into into a general issue, but when you're talking about the process of getting someone identified by a tribe, and it could be not just the tribes here in Arizona, but anywhere across the country to find that affiliation. That is difficult work, and I want to thank you for the work that you've done in supporting our community in that way. I know it's a huge lift, and just want to thank you for that work.
Thank you. Yes, I also want to thank you, Ms. Webb, and thank you very much, Ms. Sullivan, for all your for our students. So important. I think I may have met you at I think Camel View picnic a while back, but we had some students. Yes, we had some students performing and stuff. We have very talented students who do hoop dance and other performances. That was really special. And yes, I will repeat, Mr. Holcomb, if there's anything we can do to help, I would be more than happy to attend any events or a parent meeting. Please let us know. We don't like to just show up at things, but I'm going to speak for all of us that we would be happy to do that. And yeah, if there's anything else we can help with as far as attendance or participation, I don't know if it's just getting the word out. Maybe the PTOs could help get the word out in that way. And maybe we even start with preschool, because somebody mentioned preschool. Maybe we need to start there if we have any students in the preschools and that could participate in that. So yeah, thank you both. That was great.
Thank you.
Okay, we are on to the exciting Section 6. We will elect our officers for 2025 among some other board duties. So we will get started.
Yeah. Madam President, if
Yes.
I may. If I
would
may.
like- Oh, would you like to start? Go
Well,
ahead.
no, go ahead. I didn't mean to overstep.
Not at all.
This
Okay.
time.
Well, I was going to offer up a nomination for president for Christine Thompson, if anybody wants to second that.
Second?
Oh,
Okay.
got beat out. Okay. Do you accept the nomination, Ms. Thompson?
I do, thank you.
And do we have any other nominations for president? Any other nominations for president? Okay. Well, then we have a motion and a second, so please, we will vote. Are we vote? Yeah, how are we voting?
Let's do a voice vote on this.
If we don't
Who's-
know,
who's
then
gonna
we will
have it,
just,
because we don't
okay.
know, so-
All those in favor, something came up.
It's for president and vice president.
Oh, shall
You
we
can,
do vice president?
I would, yeah.
If we say president and vice president, and then Edmundo, if you pull that up, we will vote on what has been said and agreed on. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
or we can just voice vote.
Yes.
Or we can voice vote.
Yeah, Madam President, if I may amend the motion to also, I would like to nominate Ms. Kazi as vice president, and then we can take one vote on both nominations.
All right, I will second that, but then we also need to see if she accepts this nomination.
I accept, thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. So now, so we have a motion and a second for that one. And now, are we going to do a voice vote? Okay, now we're going to vote electronic. Did you have a question? Did you have something? Yeah, it went up and then it went away. Okay, there we go. Okay, please vote.
We skipped one vote, but that's okay.
And that passes unanimously. We have a new president and vice president. All right, do you want to take over?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you both. Do you take over now? or-
I
Shall-
don't know.
Yes, let's move
Do
the
I take
gavel.
over now? Ooh, it's
Move
my
the
gavel now.
I'm handing it over.
Item number 6.2, Governing Board Representation for the Madison Education Foundation. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate myself for this position because I have not done it before.
Wonderful. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Moved by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Ms. Causey. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none. Let's vote on this. Motion passes unanimously. Next item, 6.3, Governing Board Representatives for the 2025 School Board Association Delegate Assembly. Is there a motion or nominations for our delegates?
So we will need a delegate and an
An
alternate.
alternate.
Well, I would like to nominate or recommend that Mr. Hunt is the backup alternate.
Alternate?
Yeah, so it's a good way to do that. Your first time, so we do need, I mean, I'm happy to do it unless someone else wants to.
Mr. Holcomb, would you be interested in doing it? Again, I know you've been the alternate this year,
You want me to be the alternate or
the delegate.
the delegate? I would be glad to.
Okay. So we have a motion.
So I'll motion to nominate Mr. Holcomb as delegate and Mr. Hunt as alternate.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Ms. Causey. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is 6.4, Governing Board Roles, Responsibilities, and Protocols. This document, I've actually shared it with some of my nonprofit friends. I think this is such a wonderful document to really be clear about what lane belongs to who and what seat on the bus belongs to who. That I think it's wonderful for us to have as an organization, but also for, as a framework for nonprofits to use as well. Are there any comments or suggestions on the document as presented? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the Governing Board Roles, Responsibilities, and Protocols as presented?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the Governing Board Roles, Responsibilities, and Protocols document as presented.
I second that motion.
Motion made by Ms. Causey, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. 6.5, Governing Board Meetings for the 25-26 school year. Superintendent Guerin, did you want to discuss this item?
Okay, so let's see if I can get this right. President Thompson, Vice President Kazi, members of the board, cabinet and guests. We have worked hard, Danielle has worked very hard on the governing board meeting schedule for 25-26. It worked out rather well. Some calendar years are a little more tricky than others. You've seen this before in your board briefing. Please let us know if you have any questions or changes.
We need a motion to adopt? Is there a motion to adopt the
I move we
calendar?
adopt the board meeting calendar for the 25-26 school year.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Ms. Causey. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item 6.6, Governing Board Representative for the fiscal 25 audit review. Mr. Holcomb.
Yes, I think one of the things that has the biggest learning curve is school finance and that too. So I think, Brett, if you would be interested, I think this would be a good role for you to take on. It is so exciting and, it's, yeah.
It's exciting.
No,
Mr. Hunt, are you agreeable?
I am agreeable.
You don't need to be a school finance expert. We have Ms. Garvey for that.
So there's a motion by Mr. Holcomb. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Holcomb, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. Just trying to get us out of here before 7:05.
I said something, Mr. Mayor.
And,
I couldn't resist, Mr. Merrill.
yeah, Madam President,
Motion passes unanimously. Yes, Mr. Holcomb.
if I can take a moment, comment. We laugh and then this goes really pretty smoothly. It is, a point of pride for this board, how well, now people get together and we like each other, they're very professional, and just the whole way that this works, and the way we have the progression of offices, it's a huge plus. And, we see it in hiring, what we're able to get accomplished, what we project to the public, but I think how we are able to respond. I want to thank everybody on this board, for contributing to that. It is, it's rare and it's very valuable. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holcomb. And I think that is in no small part to the culture that you've helped create over the last 5+ terms now on this board. So we're deeply appreciative of you and the other board members. It's so important for us to keep our students and our staff in mind as we make decisions as a governing board. So thank you for that.
We are awesome.
Item number 7.1, discussions regarding future meetings. Dr. Guerin.
President Thompson, Vice President Kazi, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. Yes, you are an awesome board, and we have an amazing award to show for it. I hope people come to visit it. So January 21st is our next regular board meeting. We will have more of a packed house because we have Madison #1 School Showcase. #1 in Heights will be recognized for You Make a Difference Shining Star. Information items, Ms. Garvey will present a budget update. We're looking at a Madison Center for the Arts update. And Keisha will come with an early childhood program fee schedule as an information item. We'll renew our district hearing officers, and we will also have, remember that second reading of the teacher evaluation instrument that we had earlier. So this will be an action item for your approval. And then in February, I'm proposing that would be a good time to do the board self-evaluation. So we'd have that as an executive session. Camel View School Showcase, and we will have a bond update. And I have asked the Madison advocates to come and do a legislative update, and so we have it as a placeholder. Depending on how much the legislature does get done or doesn't get done, we may do it in February, we may do it in March. There's a lot going on with Prop 123 and the aggregate expenditure limit, so we'll see when that is a timely time to have that. So that's what we have coming up. Thank you.
Wonderful. Any questions or comments from board members?
I just want to mention that I really appreciate when people come in and present and for the information items, because that is very helpful for the board. A lot of times that's the only way we know about things. So I for one, the more of those, the better for me. So thank you.
Agreed. Thank you for that. And I think it's also helpful once we've done, as we as a board have discussed, when we have presentations or vote on implementing something, and then we have an update sometime later, if it's from a school or if it's from a staff member. I think it's incredibly helpful for not just us, but for the community to see that circling back. Yes, Mr. Holcomb.
If I may, yep, along that line, and I think from all the board members or from the staff. We have the bond update, and legislative update, which are both very important and good, but I think as often as we can get an information item on something that's happening at the schools or a program, you look and see if there was something appropriate to put in that February slot. I think we should make that a regular part, think about having that as a regular part of our calendar, our agenda.
Absolutely. President Thompson and I can talk about that in agenda prep. Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order? I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Gresham, seconded by Ms. Causey. All those in favor, please vote.
So if we're not in favor, we're not supposed to
You're
vote.
not supposed to vote because we want to go home before 7:05. Thank you, Danielle. We know there was a lot of moving parts. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned.